Welcome to Kitchen Table Guitars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kitchen Table Guitars. My name's Phil. This is my kitchen table, and this is largely where I make everything. I've been making guitars for the last few years. Now, I think we can all agree, 2020, not a great year around the world, but one of the brilliant things that came out of it was the Great Guitar Build-Off. And I, like many withers, spent hours enjoying watching other people around the world in sheds and in offices and wherever place, getting really creative and making amazing guitars. So I was inspired to have a go myself this year. Now, in terms of design, I decided that I needed some creative help. And now my daughter Bella, who's very camera shy, so you won't see her, but she's an extremely creative person. Here's a clip of what she made, a photograph of what she made in response to the Corona crisis, which is a kind of mad Corona outfit, including a psychedelic plague mask and a cape adorned with the Coronapus, which is her combination of an octopus and a coronavirus. Pretty strange looking outfit, I think you'll agree. There you go, anyway. So I said to her, design me something for the Great Guitar Build-Off 2021 and we'll make it together. So she came up with this. And it's a dragon bass with a big scary dragon's head. So it's a bass guitar, 4-string bass, that's mainly because I play bass and I want to be able to play this thing at the end. It's got quite a lot of interesting features that are going to be interesting. So I've never done, all my previous guitars have been acoustic, have been box guitars, mainly cigar box guitars. They've all been through necks. I've never done a solid body before, so I've never done neck joints per se. I've never done a truss rod before. I've never done any carving before. How I'm going to do the head, I have no idea, or the scales. So, but that's the whole point, to make things that you haven't made before and work out how to do them, and hopefully entertain people on the way, possibly with a lot of mistakes. Anyway, so that's all I've got to say. Now it's time to get on with the detailed design. I hope you enjoy it. So I like to do a full-scale drawing for all my guitars. Here I use just lining paper, wallpaper lining paper, which you can get for very little money at a local hardware store, and there's a whole roll of it, and one roll will do many guitars, and it's quite handy because you can roll the whole thing out and roll it as long as you want. I always start with doing the center line, and then basically the next thing to do is the scale length. In fact, when you're drawing out a guitar, there's very little that's really completely defined, and effectively the only thing that's really completely defined is the distance between the nut and the bridge, and in between them is a straight line of the strings, which you hope it's a straight line, and so those are the things that you draw in first, and then once they've been drawn in, you just start adding everything else around it. It helps if you've got the parts with you, so it helps if you've got the bridge and some of the other bits and pieces like the pickups and stuff, so you can position them out. But ultimately, you just work from the strings and the neck and the centre line backwards, and just add bits and pieces on as you go through the design process. It may seem like a bit of effort, quite a lot of effort to go through to do a whole scale design, but it really does help, for me anyway, to make sure that I know exactly what I'm actually going to try and make sure it all fits together properly. You can find a lot of problems on the drawing before you actually end up with a piece of wood in your hand and go, oh, hang on a minute, this isn't going to work. You know, I really find it helpful. I mean, I'm from an engineering background, so for me, you know, I don't do anything without a scale drawing. So I'd recommend it. But you know, lots of people make lovely guitars without any kind of drawing or anything. So you know, it's not compulsory, but it's just how I do it. Unfortunately, I didn't realise while I was filming this that you can't really see the lines very clearly on the camera. So I'm not going to show a hell of a lot of this video. In the end, it's just, you know, me drawing lines on a bit of paper. But I just want to show you the process. When it came to the headstock, I actually got my daughter to design it out on a CAD system, or it's a drawing. It's not really a CAD system; it's a drawing package. And that way you could play around with lots of different designs and on the actual screen. And then when we were happy with it, we just printed it out and stuck it onto the drawing, and it worked really well. Just printed out a copy like this, cut it out, and then just stuck it on. Worked really, really nicely. So I drew the body up as per the original sketch. So you'd have the neck coming around this way, swirl over here, come back underneath, and have the head in this area here. But I realised that I reckon we're going to have big problems with the neck being neck heavy, because you'd have to put the strap button somewhere here or maybe somewhere here, and it wouldn't really balance out the guitar. You'd have a lot of weight at the end of it, and only really a strap button here and a strap button here. So we swapped the design round to bring the head out at the top. So here's the new design, and as I say, we've moved the head from being down here and pointing that way to being up here and pointing that way. So it's effectively inverted the design, sort of inverted that way and inverted it this way. So you've got the neck coming through here, swirling around, coming underneath, and then this is going to be underneath. Strap lock button here, maybe on the end of the nose, maybe behind, and then one here. And that should give us a much better balanced guitar in terms of it being able to sit well on the shoulders. You don't want to have to you know, act effectively, the head's going to act effectively like a horn. Going to have a single pickup here. These are bass pickups, and then have a classic fully adjustable bridge here. Jack's going to come out here, and then the bass, the volume and the tone knob are going to be, I reckon, here. And we're going to need to route it, a control cavity around the back. And then this is going to be effectively two-tiered. So this is going to, here, as it swirls around, it's going to have to, as it were, kind of dive down under, a bit like a multi-story car park. It's going to have to kind of come under and then come back out at the back here. So effectively this level is going to be above this level, and there's going to sort of swoop down there. I'm aiming to give this a certain element of curve to it as well, to help it make it more look like a dragon's body, and also carve the scales in. Never done wood carving before, but it's a good time to start. So the neck's going to be the tail of the dragon, with sort of fiery, swirly tail bits. We might carve some more detail into these as well as colouring them. It's going to be at an angle. There's going to be a truss rod access cavity here, and that's the nut, which is going to be in black. All the tuners and everything are going to be in gold because, you know, it's dragon, so everything's got to be gold. And it's going to be at a 15-degree angle. One of the things to always be careful of when doing headstocks is ideally you want to keep your strings straight. I know there are plenty of headstocks, you know, like Gibson's, where the strings come off sideways, but I think in basses particularly you want to keep them straight. And so if you look here, that's the middle of where the hole for the tuner is going to go, but the string's coming in at the side of it, and that's because you want the string to come in at the side, not through the centre. If you drill the hole at the centre of this, you're going to end up with the string either doing that or doing that, which I've done. And it doesn't look good. It looks a shame because it is really nice to have it straight all the way through. So one of the things to watch out for when you're drilling the holes for the tuners. The neck itself is going to be basically a copy of a P-base neck, so pretty much the same direct dimensions at each end here. 34-inch scale. I'm going to have simple abalone dot inlays down the front, and going to have a truss rod out there, and because it's a base neck, and I'm making it myself, I thought I'd put in extra stiffening, so I've got the carbon fibre reinforcement rods that are going to fit in somewhere along there, effectively under the, you know, A and the D strings. Neck joint is going to be interesting. Yeah, because theoretically this shouldn't be the whole thickness, but I'll have to see how that all pans out. It's, I don't know, I haven't made up my mind whether it's going to be a set neck or a bolt on. I'm not going to put in a neck angle, so I'm going to make it straight in the same sort of fender style, which means that this area here will be raised up to get the string action nice and flat. You can see from the side angle, if you look from the side here, I've drawn the string in here, the bottom of the top string, there's the bridge, and I've gone for, I don't know what it was, effectively 2 or 3 mil here. You're going to have adjustment here, but you can see that this is the base. This is where the top of the base is, top of the body is going to be, and there's that gap there, which is going to be where the top of the fretboard is going to be, and this is going to be the top of the neck. So you can see everything's been lifted up to enable you to get the small action here at the strings, and also you're going to have they're going to have a fret there as well, so that will lift it up slightly. If I had a neck angle, I could have this flush, have a straight line across, and have a whole neck angle, but I decided to go this way. And that's where the neck pocket is going to have to go. Now for pan down the length of the guitar on using my patented camera on a skateboard method. So I've found an error in my design. I realised I'd done the string spacing wrong. So previously that was the string here and that was the string here, and I just basically cocked it up because I divided the strings into 4 rather than into 3 at both ends. So I've now corrected that, so these are the new string positions, and obviously this doesn't change, that was correct, this doesn't change, that was correct, but the 2 inner strings are in different positions now, so, and that would obviously have affected the positions of these 2 tuners. So I need to recalculate that. So yeah, good thing I spotted that, but that's why, you know, you do the drawings, I guess. So there you go, that's the design finished. Now it's just a matter of getting brew on and cracking on. Start buying some wood and bits and pieces and start getting on with it. See you the next episode.